So energy is something in the whole history of philosophy and everything. They say if you understand energy, you literally understand the process of life, how it moves. Let's say you have a bulb. The light in the bulb, the brightness that it gives you, that is actually the energy that we give. We call it electricity. That is also energy. So energy, now we are actually trying to look at what it is connected and how it is connected with the human consciousness. So in human consciousness, two principles applies in energy. As in the basic physical energy sources, the process of combustion, it's just like, let's say you have that fire wherein you are using the wood and then you light the fire. Wood itself is the energy. It's a chemical energy. It's more a physical kind of thing. Then you introduce the fire to that, fire itself is the energy. Then it emits light. Light is also the energy and it emits the heat. Heat is also the energy. So right from the chemical substance to everything that is emitted from that is energy, energy, energy. This whole process is known as combustion basically in physics. So energy is similarly working in us. What we eat is actually the chemical energy. Everything, let's say it's a very solid element of apple or banana or whatever you eat, that's the chemical energy. We are putting it, you have the acids in the stomach, that is simply converting it, taking the proteins, sending it to the body. All those things are conversions into the system. Then you have the potential energy in the body to simply work. And then as you are moving, that converts into the kinetic energy and energy is moving, let's say. Now this energy is very much required in the body for the growth of each and every cell of the body. Let's say we are cellular structure, trillions and trillions of cells in the body. Each and every cell needs that energy to simply grow. If you look at the atom, I hope everybody is aware of atom, wherein at the center there is nucleus with the neutron and proton, and then there is electron, which is revolving. That electron is actually the energy. Sometimes while the electrons rotates around this, it simply comes near to this. Once it goes into the neutron or touches the neutron, it converts into same, either the neutral or the positive one. But once it moves away, it generates more negative ions. Life doesn't happen any different. Your thoughts, your influences, your calculations in the mind, the more it is centered, you will have more energy, more positivity or neutrality. The more vagueness, the more complications, the more it is far away from the center or the reality or the universal truth as we were speaking yesterday, the more negative ions are generated and absolute pressure will be there. Just because of that same phenomena which is happening in an atom, because there are trillions of cells in the body and we are a combination of that atoms and molecules and all those things, the same principle applies. So we will explore what is anxiety and what are the elements and ingredients of fear and thoughts. All those perceptual realities moves with expression. So I have expressed. Let's divide a line between a resolved and an unresolved issue in the mind. So let's say as a child is bullied and he cannot express. That will be considered as an unresolved emotion and the energies of growth and movement will be stuck in that point. So let's say 5%, for example, energies are stuck with event 1. Another event happens wherein significant emotional experience, that's what we technically say in psychology, SEE, it's a significant emotional experience. Whenever you go through any significant emotional experience and it is unresolved, the energies are held. The energies are stuck. The stuckness of this energy is just as, let's say, in this body there are trillions of cells. I want you to again, let's go into that imaginary dimension because we will be doing 2-3 activities today where we will be imagining a lot. Let's imagine each and every cell of your body as a person. People, let's say. Let's imagine each and every cell of our body as people and all these people are alive. The basic theme of those people is to be in harmony. And now imagine that one of the community of the people are getting suppressive. They are suppressed. What do you think will happen in that zone or area where the community is suppressed? How will they operate?
There will be negativity.
There will be negativity.
It's contagious. It's contagious.
Contagious. contagious, absolutely.
Yeah.
So they can literally affect the other parts and then disturbance can happen. The other scenario, let's say a part of community again getting over expressive, intense, just like how we have some intense thought movement and terrorists, let's say, on the planet. Similarly, they are over expressing a part of the community. A community of cells which are either suppressive, a community of our cellular system which is over expressive, a community of our cellular system which is confused. This is what generates the autoimmune disorders. This is what we commonly know it as psychosomatic disorders. It starts with our thoughts, emotions, affects our energy dimension. As a result, it affects our biochemicals in the body. We have physicochemicals and biochemicals in the system, affecting our endocrine system and the nervous system, which secretes different kind of hormones. Initially, it starts as cortisol secreted in the body. So as you grow up, after 14, 18, everything is considered as significant emotional experience. But as a child, let's say from 0 to 14, it's considered as just a child who is not expressive or suppressive. All these emotional events holds the energy. Let's say I am sad, I am worried, I am afraid. Most of the people have this panics, a continuous fear, confusions, uncertainties. All these things falls in the same category. So the whole reason why I am talking about this is to understand the framework that I need energies, I need 100% energies today. And the first utilization of that 100% energies is to be creative. I need to be creative, isn't it? I need to simply be creative, I need to do something about it. So that creativity in everything falls in this category.
But sometimes when you are under pressure, you find the energy.
Yes, that is overconsumption of energy. Whatever is left, it's just like this. Let's say, let's say you see a tiger here. What you will do?
Run.
You will get the energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even though, let's say, you are tired, you are feeling like sleepy, and you see a tiger here. Even though you are feeling sleepy, you will run. Because our nervous system is programmed in such a way, it secretes huge amount of adrenaline glands in the body, and you will run. And cortisols are there to help you to have that muscle intensity and everything. It will energize you so much, you will run. In the same way, when you are pressured, when you are triggered by pressure or worry, the same mechanism works in the body. It literally secretes cortisols in the blood. Cortisols is the carbonated system of our hormones. It is carbon in nature. When it is secreted in more amounts and it is stored and it is not consumed, it stays there as poison. That means you are slow poisoning yourself. If you are not consuming it.
Right? Sort of reserve energy.
It reserves. I mean, cortisol is secreted and it is actually consumed if you do a physical activity. It is a very natural flight and fight mode in the body, programmed right from the beginning of creation, just to save yourself. If you see the tiger and you are running, so the moment you look at the tiger and you are afraid, cortisols are secreted. As you run, they are consumed. But now, because of the complexities of life, we have the same fear as we are looking at the tiger. But the movement is not there. We are simply holding our head and sitting in one place. Or we are calculating, we are using more of the mental capacity. The physical capacity is not used. So physical capacity is just like that. Cortisols will be stored in the blood. The more you store the cortisol, the more poisonous it becomes. That's what disorders, brings the disbalance in the whole immune system. Autoimmune disorders, again, just the reason because the cortisols are stored and not consumed in the body. So today what I'll be doing is, inshallah, I'll be teaching you some very easy tools which you can practice daily to consume the cortisols in the first place, so that the remains of cortisols or whatever the reservoirs of cortisols are there should be consumed. The moment you consume those cortisols, you will notice that you will have a breathing space. Yeah? Clear till here?
So basically, when we have fear, where are we here? It's the present, or is it?
Tell me.
That's why.
Let's say in present you are afraid. Is it about your present or is it about your stored experiences from past or worries of the future?
So it's an unconscious mind.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's never about present. It's about either my stored experiences from past or my worries and uncertainties about the future. So I'm totally uncertain, I don't know, let's say. We are human beings, we are photonic beings, we need light to see. If we are in darkness, we cannot move. We need light, isn't it? So let's say I don't know. Anything that you don't know, you will generate a fear. You will generate discomfort, at least. And that discomfort is perceived as danger with your endocrine and your nervous system. It will secrete some chemicals in the body. Mostly, I call it hijack. So you are hijacked by emotions. That person could process 12 thoughts at any given point of time. That was the activity of his mental capacity. Literally, was on medications. They gave him suppressants, immune suppressants, to simply bring down the mental activity. Now, what happens? There is a phenomenon known as resolved and unresolved issues in life, and all these events stores those resolved and unresolved issues. Our mind works like this. The moment you have one unit of thought, there is a neuron that fires and looks for the information for the resolution or a solution. If you find the resolution and solution, it settles down, it says, okay, good, I have found the resolution, and that's a happy moment most of the time. So first of all, I want you to come to this acknowledgement. Most of the time, the dialogues in people who are overwhelmed and anxious, the dialogues are like this. Everything is going wrong. So many things to process. I have nobody to understand. So all these generalized dialogues will be there. When I ask people how's life, everything is going wrong. I usually ask them, let's write down those everything. How many things are there? And when they start to write, they don't go beyond 7 to 8. 1, 2, 3 it comes easily. At 4 they have to think. 5 they have to blame somebody. 6, 7 they have to blame themselves and blame the bigger picture. They say politics is wrong, that's why I am anxious. Not beyond 7. What was the dialogue? Everything is wrong in life. Nobody understands me. I will just write down, who are you expecting? My spouse, he doesn't understand me, she doesn't understand me. Other than that, I don't need any other one. So you were saying that nobody means the whole world doesn't understand you. That's overwhelming, isn't it? The moment your mind takes that signal, it's a linguistic, it's a vocabulary that affects your biochemistry. The linguistic, the vocabulary that you use as an internal dialogue affects your biochemistry, physiochemistry in the body. You are telling yourself, nobody understands me, nobody cares about me. That nobody is just one person, 2 person, I am telling you. But the overwhelming feeling of nobody means you are painting the whole town red. Means the whole world doesn't understand you. The moment you come to the conclusion, no, I am talking about just one person. This response mechanism is divided into a reactive response, a defense mechanism, and a coping mechanism. So you will have a defense mechanism which is natural, very natural. It's animalistic, instinctive. How animals save themselves, we also have the same mechanism. So whenever the threat is there, you try to save yourself, and that goes into the response mechanism. Then you have a coping mechanism. Coping mechanism is much more complex. It simply tries to save yourself, mentally manipulating things, emotionally manipulating the things, physically with the behavior and actions manipulating the things. So they will do things, they will calculate, their all senses works in the zone of how do I secure myself. Like in workplaces, I do a lot of training in HR departments specifically to understand the employees and all. So they simply label the person on the behavior and ABC, check, this is present, this is not present, and you are labeled like that. That is the most biggest injustice zone that you do. Because the person have not developed the sense of trust, that's why he is reacting in a certain way. He doesn't have the sense of trust right from the beginning, let's say. And then he is behaving very, very reactively. He is behaving in a very desperate way most of the time. And everything goes into the negative zone mostly. So they will think, oh, what are the negativity in this zone so that I get saved from that. I save myself. I'm not bothered about anyone, let me save myself. So it's a response mechanism most of the time. I respond. And then the behavior is projected. Now I want you to always understand one thing in this one. Judgments are towards behavior. and intentions are always good. So always please, before labeling anyone, first consider this zone. What could be the intention of the person? His intention could be, most of the time and 80% of the time, simply to save himself, which is absolutely justifiable, isn't it? Of course, I absolutely acknowledge there is a framework of company policies and productivity and the zone of generating finances, what we are looking for. If that is not proper, you can hire or fire them or place them in some other department. But labeling the person, you are useless here, you are good for nothing, you are dishonest, you are a cheater, ABC, XYZ, that doesn't work. Because the moment you are labeling that, that will create another layer of significant emotional experience. It would be a wound, literally a scar in life, which will go more deeper. Let's all sit straight with the shoulders straight, both the feet on the ground. Being aware of the breath, temperature of the breath, depth of the breath. And consciously, as you inhale, I want you to go a little bit more deeper with every inhale. We'll do this 7 times at least. Consciously, as you inhale, go a little bit more deeper. Keep going deeper and deeper. As we inhale, with every inhale, go a little bit more deeper. This is to simply bring your consciousness together at the breath. The breath is the best thing to integrate your mindfulness and bring you to here and now. And we'll do this breath pattern. The pattern is 4 short breaths, 1 long breath, and we'll do this in a cycle of 5. So whenever you are doing 4 short, 1 long breath, 5 times. Let me show you, then please follow this. Okay? So this is like this, 4 short. Full inhale, full exhale, short, and 1 long. So it's like this. So just notice and just let me know how are you feeling in your neck muscles, shoulder muscles, and the depth of the breath.